Welcome back. I'm Ben Lavelle here with
Janae Overton
and
Alana Mitnick.
Sports Talk Radio. We'll be talking in front of a live audience. But now we'll talk about the NL East and if anyone can stop the Braves. What do you think?
I think the only team that can stop the Braves, the team on my chest right now, the Mets. Even though the Mets have been struggling a little bit, I think we got something rolling here, and I'm very excited to see what this team does. You know, normally we get hot and then we lose in the fall, but we might be switching it around this year. We don't know. We haven't really seen the Mets struggle like this in a while, so I'm expecting a big comeback. I'm saying the Mets.
What do you think about that?
I completely disagree. I don't think anyone is going to be able to beat the Braves this year. Well, we've seen just how dominant they've been all year, and I don't think anything is going to change even after the All-Star break. The dominance on the offense, the dominance on the pitching side of the ball, and none of the other teams in the East can even beat the Braves. The Mets, the Marlins, and certainly not the Nationals can beat the Braves, so I just think they're going to be running away with it.
But you didn't say the Phillies, so what about the Phillies?
The Phillies, I think, are going to be the closest competitor. While we saw last year how they just snuck into the playoffs, I think they do have what it takes.
We have a question. What's your question?
Yeah, so talking about the NL East, we can't even mention the Mets in conversation. Right? They're terrible. They're absolutely pathetic. Since April 22nd, the three worst teams in baseball, the Oakland A's, terrible team. Kansas City Royals, terrible team. You want to know who the third is? The New York Mets. They're in no way in conversation to be anywhere near the top of the NL East, especially with the Braves. However, when you look at this division and you look at the Braves, they are a fantastic team and are definitely among the World Series favorites, but that was them last year when they were the top team in the NL East. What happened? Well, they lost to a team in the NLDS that was 14 games back of them. So for me, I'm not ready to say that the Braves are favorites in October. In the NL East, sure. Are they ready for October, though? I'm not quite certain.
I'd like to say I think that's a crazy comparison to put the Mets in the same group as the A's, but I understand what you're talking about. I think the Braves will do good, but I can't see them making it much further. The NL East, it's not very competitive as we seen talking through these teams, but I do agree with that take there.
Yeah, and I mean, going into the season, everyone thought the NL East was going to be the hardest division to win, and now it's looking like it might be the easiest out of all the divisions. It's just kind of upsetting. I thought we were going to have a bunch more competition, but again, like I said, the Mets, the Marlins, the Nats don't even look close to being a playoff team. Philly's the only one that have true competition on the Braves.
Let's take your question.
Yeah, we can focus on the Braves here, the NL East. What aspects of their game that you guys think that make them have an advantage over the rest of the division?
You know what? I think their batting is really good. It's really stood out much along people. Again, going back to the Mets have been struggling in batting, and it shows getting blown out in games. The Braves haven't been really struggling with that, and I think that'll be really good moving into the further parts of the season.
Yeah, Ronald Acuna Jr., getting him back from the torn ACL after last year, I think he might even be NL MVP at the end of the season. I really like what he's been doing, and I think he's helping the Braves get on top of that division.
Your question?
I know how you said the Mets, the Marlins, and the Nationals don't even look like competitors for the division. I would beg to differ with the Miami Marlins. I actually do think they're a competitor for the division. Everyone says that, they're going to fall off eventually. If you have a guy who's batting .400 on your team, you are not going to fall off anytime soon. So they also have star pitching, and they're going to be around. They've slowly built up in the process, and they're going to be there.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
I do think they're going to be around. I just don't know if they're going to be around this season.
I mean, I agree. It's just you only have one guy hitting .400. You don't have Jazz Chisholm right now. You have Luis Ariz, and that's about it on that team. They need some more stars to be able to really make it further.
And that's about all we have time for. I'm Ben.
I'm Janae.
And I'm Alana.
And this is Sports Talk Radio.